Frank, wanted to get your thoughts on Talon in his first game since, October 8th, I think, the third preseason game on both ends of the court.
Yeah, he was great. Felt confident in starting him because I know he's been doing a lot of work. It was a hand injury, so he stayed really active, with his running and staying in game shape. You never know what to expect, but he looked really good. Puts a lot of pressure on the rim, which just helps everything for us offensively. And obviously we've been using Bays and Avery to carry a big share of the load, defending on the perimeter, taking the other team's best player, and Talon was able to he's able to play both sides of the ball. That's our vision for him this year is to take that matchup on a lot of nights, and it's great to have him back on both sides.
And Frank, AD had 9 buckets in the paint in that first half. It seemed like the Spurs adjusted quite a bit. How did you think that he played out of that in the second half?
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about. Playing first, just resetting our focus to get him the ball in the post. We're trying to be a movement offense this year, and sometimes it doesn't find him enough. And we established him early in the game, and we also worked offensively to be a multiple action offense. After the game the other night, we're just not getting to the next man well enough. And I thought all the guys that were out there, Wayne, Malik, Russ, Rondo, Melo even, we're finding him as a dynamic roller. You know what I mean? And we just didn't let things stall us out, the unders and the switches and whatnot. And we're able to get the ball to him on rolls and in the post. And then obviously the second half, when they brought extra help on his rolls and double in the post, found shooters on the backside, found Russ at the rim on that one play late, and really did a good job making plays.
Frank, obviously LeBron, Trevor, Austin, and Kendrick are still out, but where do you think the role can be for Talon moving forward? Could it be a starting lineup type of situation, more minutes? So where do we go from here with Talon?
We'll see. He's going to be a big part of what we do, though. We know that. We invested in him this summer for a reason. We got a strong belief in that young man and what he can, like I said, what he can do on both sides of the ball. And, obviously when we get whole, we got a lot of good choices, but he's going to be a big part of it.
Frank, I know you were just talking about some of the scheme stuff you were doing on offense that got AD going, but how much do you think is affected by the spacing that your new starting lineup offers, and how much do you think is just AD having a mentality of going to the rim and kind of getting there?
I think it's equally both, honestly. We've been starting big lineups, and with every year every team's different. We believe in what, especially with Russ as the point guard and his downhill nature. Just having Anthony as the lone big out there just creates a little bit more space for him, but also for Anthony rolling to the basket. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big part of it. But Anthony wanted to impose his will on this game. He more than anyone is probably unhappy with how last game unfolded. And it was clear that he was intent to impose his will.
Hey Frank, over here. Kent had started every game heading into tonight and was a DNP. We had talked yesterday at practice about some of his shooting struggles, and then obviously Talon returned tonight and started. But what went into that decision to not play Kent?
Yeah, really Talon. We want to get Talon back in there. Bays is going to be a big part of what we do, but Malik and Wayne have been playing really well. Off the bench, and Bays is still going to be a big part of what we do, but Talon coming back to the lineup was the factor there.
Let's talk about Frank Vogel going to that starting lineup. Rob made a point about giving him the game ball. Sometimes when you're up against it, big game, James, and the team is trying to find their way with injuries and guys out of the lineup, sometimes you got to shake things up. Look at the starting lineup today and how they performed.
Yeah, it's a tough call, because if it doesn't work, you got everybody saying, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? But the coach has the pulse of the team. So he's been watching guys, whether anyone doubts his changes or not, he knew what he had to do, and it worked great tonight. Tucker, I think, was key because it allowed him to explore and have the ball in his hands a little bit, took a little bit of pressure off Russ, and also I think, AD in the paint, that forced him to be the big and got Ellington and Monk and all those perimeter threes and good shots.
And I want to make sure we say this. It's not just about the starting lineup. The starting lineup is usually together the first 6 minutes, then to close out the half, to start the third, and then the closing lineups are usually different. It's about the combinations as well. And that second unit was great as well.
Oh, yeah. When Monk came out, Monk has been up and down, but when he's aggressive with the rock and he's going to the hole, he's a dynamic player. And, of course, Elton, we talked about him getting familiar with the ball and him maybe knock down threes. He's getting into a rhythm. Because you think about it, Elton was out for a while.
Yeah.
He's trying to get back into shape. He's trying to get back into the rhythm of the game. So now we're starting to see why Elton is one of the guys we pursued this summer and lured him away from his other team. So he's able to knock down threes now. So we're getting back